Okay.
You can do it. You can be whoever you want. You can be eating mango too with the ocean as your backyard. I ain't special. I just want it. I want it bad. You feel me? I'm not going to allow myself to not have mango. So I hustle hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm good my way. No, baby.
Are those flippers? Oh my God, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Diddy has flippers on and it jumps into the infinity pool after eating up the sliced mango. What a life, man. Brother love.
He's clearly wasted out of his mind, but yet and still sober enough to type this amazing caption. One day when I was growing up, I woke up and there was 15 roaches on my face. At that moment, I said, hell no, I refuse to live like this. Work hard, believe in your crazy dreams, and never settle. Hashtag love. The reason I wanted to start the podcast off with that, A, because it's funny as hell. But B, so you guys may remember from some of our recent episodes, I was saying, hey, the podcast is available on wherever you stream music. I thought that we cracked the code. We could, we could make some money off
Oh
of this
man,
podcast.
this guy was super excited, man. Super excited about it.
Yeah, I thought we could make some money off this podcast right away. And more to the point, I really, so just so you guys know, no, we can't. It is not available wherever you stream music. It is currently right now only available still on YouTube. But I was just disappointed because you can make music and you can put it on a streaming platform and you can get paid your fraction of a penny every time that song gets streamed. You could do a podcast and you can put it on a leg or an arm of that same company. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, whatever. So same company, just an arm or a leg, and you could still stream it the same way you would stream a song, but they're not going to pay you. So to me, that hurt. That shit hurt my heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny. It is funny, and that's fine. But the reason why it bothered me so much is because I don't understand why they don't allow podcasters to be compensated in that way. The same effort, and I don't want to take away from what musicians put into making a song, because I make music too, and so do you. But the same effort that goes into it, dude, like, can put it this way. It takes hours and whatnot to write a record, right? And you got to record it. You need the beat, mix, master, da 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 da. Dude, we do a podcast. We podcast 4 times a week. We put in so much work. I don't understand why we can't get compensated the exact same way a musician does off of their streams. It doesn't make sense to me. And since we've gotten the big middle finger from DistroKid, this is basically DistroKid was like, nah, nigga, this ain't music. We're not in the business of paying you, every time you your podcast gets streamed. Every time we got the big middle finger from them, I've just been racking my brain trying to figure out why. I don't understand why. Can you even fathom or create even the slightest reason as to why a podcaster cannot get compensated per stream the same way an artist can?
I mean, listen, anybody who's watching this right now, if you're wondering why I'm sitting here very silent and just allowing this guy to fully explain his thing, is because I've already heard all of this. We've had this discussion off camera already, and I already know how he feels about this topic, right? And I'll be honest, when you brought this to me the first time, you could probably hear my voice. I wasn't very optimistic about this being successful because I knew that it wasn't something that had been done before. First of all, I also know that all of these things have specific places for podcasts, and it's usually podcasts that they sign on and they have some kind of exclusive deal with them so that they can make money off of the podcast too. So, when we first got the first few episodes on, which we did, it was dope. You call me up, you can tell when this guy gets excited because I'll get a text message. If I don't respond enough, I'll get a call. If I don't respond, I'll get a message, and that gets me excited. I'm not gonna lie. Your excitement does get me excited. I'm not gonna front. But I knew off bat that it was a going to be an uphill climb if this was going to be successful, because the difference between music and podcasts is what we're doing right now is commentary. We're talking about other things that have happened in other people's lives. We're talking about stories that have occurred in the world. We're giving our personal opinion on them. This type of content right here cannot be copywritten fully. Like, we can have our podcast as a full episode. Like, nobody can fully come on there and use it as their own and say that this is us. But they can take little pieces and bits and segments of it if they wanted to and use it as a fair use. You can't do that with music. They'll bust your ass as soon as you use more than a certain amount, right? So companies knowing this, knowing that there's a property that cannot be copywritten, you know what I mean, that could be created by them, they see an opportunity to make money off of it. You can't do that with music. So once you see that opportunity, you create a platform in which you can receive that money. And once you create that platform, you allow that to be the only platform that you allow that type of thing on. So that's exactly why, this is something that if podcasts want to be on there, it's either you got to have a deal or you got to have some kind of connections. And that's my thinking of what it was from the jump. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. And like I said, it really bummed me out. It really did. But which is why I wanted to lead with that Diddy video, because it's extremely inspirational. Man said he woke up with 14 cockroaches on his face. I grew up in the projects and lived in the projects for quite some time. Nice chunk of my life. I've
Right.
never woken up with cockroaches on my face. And you see where Diddy's at right now. Drunk
Right.
as hell, dancing and
You
jumping
didn't slice mango
slice mango, jumping in an infinity pool with flippers on.
with
So,
flippers on.
right. So to me, like, I wanted to start the podcast off with that because it sets the tone. And the tone is, if you want it, you got to work for it. Life is always going to give you, life is great at giving you excuses. If you are supposed to work out today, life will give you 100 excuses, easy ones too, why you shouldn't work out. If you were supposed, whatever you're supposed to do, life is so good at that. It's your job to bust through those excuses and be like, nah, life, I know I could just, it's raining outside, I shouldn't jog, or, my weights are broken, I shouldn't lift. Come up with something else, nigga. Do some, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
no, I'm super happy you brought this up. No, I'm super happy you brought this up, because that was the thing that, honestly, when me and you spoke, that was my thing that I was trying to get across, that, like, you know what I mean? I understand that it's a lot of work that we're doing. Oh man, do I understand it. I didn't think it was going to be as much as it is, as consistent. You got to do it on days where you don't feel like doing it. You got to do it on days where it's raining. Doesn't matter what's going on. You got to figure it out. You know what I mean? There might not be enough stories that day. You got to figure out what you're going to do. We've been through it all. But I understand one thing, and that is that, like, you have to go through that grind process where you're putting in all of this work and you feel like you're not getting anything back. That's just part of the journey. That happens to everybody anybody who's trying to make it, doing something for themselves, like trying to have their own business. They're gonna have those moments where they sit there like that, but you have to bury through those moments, because I guarantee you right now, and I know we're not monetized. We had a goal of being monetized within the first year, which, was a big goal. But we're halfway. We got halfway there off of two guys sitting in front of a camera giving our opinions on some dumb stuff that happens every day. I think that's amazing. And I think that, we continue to do what we do. And one of these days, a next video is going to bust. And then people are going to go back and watch our old videos. And man, I could see it. But the thing about it is that you have to understand that the grind is part of the process. That's all it is. And I know that you do understand that. But a lot of people get blinded by, I'm not getting paid for this and it's a lot of work. And I feel like you have to get over that. That's how people become successful. The people who get over that shit.
well, remember the key word here is sweat equity. Right.
Right.
So with that being said, viewing public, because now it is just viewing public, what are your thoughts here, man? Diddy,
That's good.
Diddy is hammered. Diddy is living his best life. Went from roaches on the face to infinity pools, sliced mango with flippers.
Hey,
Lesson of the day, people. Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe here and forever. Deuces. All right.
those
Okay.
that was
So
good. That was good, sorry.
that was fun.
Yeah, that was good. Some realism, you know. Let's draw the viewers into the real life, the BTS, the behind the scenes.
So I'm curious. I don't really know who this person is that you sent me. Rachel Nichols.
Rachel Nichols is the white one.
There
And
you go.
then
I was gonna say the redhead, but sure. All
yeah,
right.
and then the other one is Maria Taylor. She is a ESPN analyst, and she is host of one of the shows called The Jump, right? So she recently, there was a few comments that were leaked as she was talking to a spokesperson for LeBron James. I think it was his publicist or somebody on his business team. It doesn't matter. The conversation that was being had, though, there was a little part that was taken and is the main part that she's being criticized for. So let me see. I think I have it right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says in the audio, the meat, in the audio, which was leaked by an ESPN employee to the New York Times, Nichols is heard saying, if you need to give Taylor more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, of course, she's speaking about ESPN, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. But just find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it. You're not going to find it from me or take my thing away. That's what everybody's going crazy about, because it sounds as though what she's saying is that Maria Taylor is only getting this job because of her color and not because of her talent.
Her
is how
ability.
it sounds, right?
Yeah.
Is how it sounds. So she's been getting a lot of backlash from ESPN because in her thing, she was really attacking ESPN. Rachel Nichols, it's been her dream to host, not be on the sideline for an NBA finals, right? She finally gets the opportunity. Then it comes up that, that she might be replaced by Maria Taylor, and there's only one spot. It's either going to be her or it's going to be Maria Taylor, right?
Right.
So the discussion that she's actually having, I think I'm cutting out a little bit there. But,
No, you sound fine.
I'm good? Okay. The discussion that she's actually having is her talking to LeBron James, business person, saying, think about how many jobs there are for men hosting. Why are none of those jobs under consideration for Maria Taylor to take over? And why is it only my job? Why does it become now a competition between the two women? Simply because we're at a moment where Black Lives Matter is a big thing, where you guys seem to care about this so much. Now you guys want to bring in that to make you look good, ESPN, as a company, but you're in that light. You're still being discriminatory against women. What about the guys?
Right.
Is the argument that she's really having. You know what I mean?
I could feel that.
Okay, so when you look at it like that, with the full discussion that she had instead of the hot take, the fact that ESPN took away her job, they won. They won at the end, and she still looks like the villain.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
I hate that.
Yeah, if there's a room full of 10 people and 9 of them happen to be men and one of them is a woman, and they could only have 10, and the movement, the vibe right now is BLM, Black Lives Matter, et cetera, et cetera. So they want to bring on a black face to kind of help the company's image. Why not X out one of the dudes and then bring in another woman? So at least it's an 8 to 10. Plus you got
There you go.
Plus you meet your blackface ratio as well. Like, yeah. So no, you know what? Like when you're right. When you take in the entire scope of the story, 100%, she's not the villain in this.
And this is the real story. This is the real story behind the whole Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor thing. The real story, not what everybody else is rushing to tell you. So when she says it this in the statement, just find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it from me or take my thing away. This is a lady whose dream it has been to do this all her life. She finally gets the opportunity. And because of the times that we're in and the company that ESPN is, they decide that they might actually take it away from it. So, she voices her opinion still in an educated way, my part.
Okay, great. In your opinion. But let me ask you this. when she says find it somewhere else. She's speaking in code, nigga. Like she's speaking in code. Don't speak in code. Say it up front. And please correct me if I'm wrong. Did she make it a point to say that this is a company that's, basically the majority of it is men? Why don't you X out one of the dudes? Did she say that? Did she say that?
Well, in the actual conversation, I'm honestly, I have to listen to it again because I'm not sure who brought it up first, but I know that the conversation did immediately pivot to them focusing on the fact that there's men whose seats are not even in question.
Okay.
And her kind of confirming exactly.
Okay, well then this is basically just a media job at the end of the day, right? So this is, I mean, look, let this be let this be a PSA, a public service announcement. We've said it 100 million times and we'll continue to say it. Don't read past the fucking headline. I don't know what else to
Please,
say. Read past the
please.
headline. Like the woman is making a very valid point. It's not just about race. It's not just about black people that are being discriminated against. Indian people, Asian people. Women are also being discriminated against. Furthermore, what's the black lady's name? What's her name again?
Maria Taylor. Maria Taylor.
Maria Taylor, beautiful black princess. Love you. Love what you're doing. Great. Never heard you, but fuck it. Love you anyways. Why aren't you speaking up? You a woman too. You know what's going on.
She's
Clarify.
going for it. She's going for it. She's going for it because listen. I'm not saying listen. Come for me if you want. She has her contract's about to be up at ESPN. Let's just put it that way. Maria Taylor. So her silence, yeah, let's do that.
There's a reason. All right, cool.
You
Well,
get where I'm going with it.
I got you. I got you. This to me is disappointing. And this to me is also, more of like an affirmation as to why it's important that podcasts like this, small ones too, because believe it or not, the big podcasts that you love so dearly, they also have handcuffs and cannot say certain things.
Oh man, is it
So
watered down?
yeah, so it's great that smaller podcasts exist because we could say really whatever we want. I mean,
It's really about where you want your Kool-Aid from. Do you want your Kool-Aid from these two guys right here, or would you rather go to Deborah and try her Kool-Aid? Because you never know. Deborah might have a great Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? Kathy might have a great Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? You never know. But what type of juice you trying to drink on? That's what I'm saying.
we're not going to water it down. We're just going to tell it to you straight. But viewing public, man, this is really about y'all. That's what this story is really about, because you guys are the ones who are blowing it out of proportion based on a completely wrong narrative. So now that you know what the actual narrative is, what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, man, more media manipulation. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not.
No,
I
but
just have
ESPN
ears.
definitely won on this one. Like you can't deny it. They just
Yeah.
definitely won it. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so that's exactly what it was. Media manipulation. And they ended up replacing her with a black person to do the NBA finals at the end of the day, Malika Andrews. So there you go. Hilarious, right? I know nobody cares. I know. It's hilarious the world that we live in. I love it. I love it. I love it. She's a great talent too. I'm not taking away from her talent as well, but she knows why she's there. Let's
yeah,
be
you
real.
just got to recognize when you're being used. Recognize when you are a pawn piece being used. That's all I'm saying. Leave it in the comments, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is disgusting. Okay, so let's keep it rocking. Okay, have you ever been cheated on?
Yes. Yes.
What was your reaction when you got cheated on?
Oh,
So
it wasn't this. It wasn't this. Hold
Oh,
on.
okay.
That's what's right. Right.
I don't know.
No, at first it was and then it was so there we go. Sorry. I just got them mixed up.
So you didn't cry?
I was devastated. I was devastated.
Did you cry?
Real men don't cry. So that's, there's always that.
You're like Seinfeld. What is this salty discharge coming from my? Anyways,
No, I mean there was a lot of onions being cut in my house at the time and it was real dusty, but I wasn't crying or nothing. So.
I mean that's fair. Like
yeah, it was a cooking thing. Yeah.
You have no control over the environment that you're in at the time. Fair enough.
Straight up. I was locked in the house.
I get it. Men were very, like we like our possessions. Like we like to plant our flag. This is ours. That guy was here. Don't cross the line. My house. Knock before you come in type of deal. So
Like
I
a
get it.
vampire.
Yes, when people cross the line, when people enter when they're not supposed to, when they come here, you get frustrated, you get angry, you want to defend your territory. But to what level are you willing to go to do this? Are you willing to risk jail time? Are you willing to risk your freedom, everything that you work so hard to gain? In some cases, people don't have anything to lose, fair enough. But are you willing to risk these things? Because I will tell you, Lil Uzi Vert is.
Why we keep talking about this little nigga? This little man is too short for all of these stories to be going on about him. There is a story per foot. Like, what is it? Like, this is story by the foot.
Lil Uzi Vert hospitalizes ex-girlfriend after allegedly punching her in the face multiple times. This is what her manager says. So Uzi assaulted the manager's client during a fit of rage, leaving Bird hospitalized. So Brianna, the manager, claims Bird was having a lunch meeting with JHN on Friday, June the 2nd, when Uzi pulled up in a Cadillac SUV. important.
Sorry. Pull up. Okay. So pull up situation. It's a pull up situation. Okay.
Well,
all right.
you got to remember, like black media rappers, like the way they write these things.
It sounds very gangster.
It's very, very, very niggerish.
So very hood.
Pulls up in a Cadillac SUV and confronted Bird, punched her in the face multiple times, and pointed a gun at her chest before fleeing the scene, according to Brianna. Again,
okay.
Bird's manager. There's a little last piece of this. So Bird and JHN have a strictly working relationship. They made it a point to say that because there were rumors flying around that the two were possibly dating as they were spotted around LA. So how I'm piecing this, rumors flying around, you're my girl, why you hanging out with this nigga that everybody says you supposed to be slamming? So I hear about it, I pull up on you, I give you the 1-2, that like the the up down left right special code.
AV
select start whatever. I catch you with one of those, and then I pull out a gun, and then like I get it. Like, you are sick and tired of talking about this person, and so am I. But I mean, really, this happened at 12 p.m. in a public place.
Okay. This is my confusion when anything like this happens. I don't know what was this, a restaurant? What was this? What is JHN? It's a restaurant.
JHN is the person that Bird was having the meeting with. So JHN is an actual person. But they were at some venue.
That's how you know I can't keep up. They don't even have, these people don't even have vowels in their names anymore. That's incredible. Okay. JHN was sitting there having some food. Okay. I have to wonder in 2021, where is the video footage? Where is it?
That's a great question.
In 2021, you're telling me listen to this.
Good question.
Tell me the time that you think that is in between these things, okay? So I first up have to pull up in my caddy. I gotta get out the car. I gotta find you. I gotta go over to where you are. Gotta see you. There's probably gonna be a verbal confrontation. Like, nobody's just walking up and just immediately punching somebody, like not even saying no word, But even if he did, let's say he just did that. He walks up to her and just snuffs her in the face. Just boom, boom, boom. And it says multiple punches, so there was more than one. Let's say 3. Then he pulls out a gun. Then there's a gun involved. So now he's pointing the gun. I'm assuming, once again, that he's speaking while he's holding the gun, not just pointing it silently and waving it around. I'm assuming there's words being said, whatever. I'm also assuming that the people around him are probably trying to stop him, are probably saying, Uzi, put the Uzi away. They're probably saying that to him. Okay, so with all of that being said, how much time do you think all of that altercation would take?
Well, they said he got there around 12 p.m., so maybe 10 minutes.
Carry the one. Exactly.
Yeah.
Where were the cell phones? Not one cell phone. I need to see some proof. I'm sick of this, man. Listen, I don't like little Uzi, but let me tell you one thing I like even worse. False claims against men when it comes to assault and abuse and all that stuff. And listen, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there.
Weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I know what year we're living in. And I know the first thing people do when they see celebrities fighting.
That's a really, really good point. And just to kind of bounce off of that, the trampoline off of that, I was trying to figure out, that's how I started this whole shit. Like, why would you do this? Like, why would you do this in a public place? And to your point, where there may have been video footage. I mean, if this is a restaurant, a bistro, or whatever, there's got to be cameras. So
Somebody's got to have their cell phone out.
So what I'm saying is, who would do that? Then I remembered Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty was allegedly involved in like a robbery, a vehicle, drive away, getaway car, all that shit.
Right.
Pooh Shiesty was on his Instagram. This is how they really nailed him to the cross.
Serial numbers.
No pun intended. Respect God and all that. But how they nailed him, the money that they stole, he was flashing it on Instagram. They matched the serial numbers. The getaway vehicle, same thing on the gram.
Right.
So when I tried to figure out like who would do this, like what type of, these are the type of people that would do this.
Absolutely. They're just, when you feel like, listen, there are certain people who feel like once they get into certain positions that they are above the law. I know this, obviously, which is why things like this are possible. But this level of stupidity, this is something that this would have happened more often. I'm just saying, like, this doesn't just happen randomly for a star a few years after this is something that you would see repeatedly. Like, we know the stars out there that have their problems. Like, we know. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said, you know how I feel about Uzi. I'm not the biggest fan or whatever, but I'm not just gonna sit here without the proof and try to report something like it really happened. So
well, I mean, I know you guys know what little Uzi Vert looks like, but just again to provide a little bit of visual.
I mean, it is definitely more believable that he had to punch somebody while they were sitting down. I mean, that's definitely believable that they had to be sitting down for him to get the punches off to their face. I believe that, but like, come on, this man is too short. He's not tall enough for all of this, man.
I also want to say one other thing too, to your point. This is all allegedly, nothing's been proven, but let's just say worst case scenario, and I'll go with worst case because I don't want it to be true. I don't want that woman to have had a gun pulled on her. I don't want her to have been punched multiple times in the face. And furthermore, as much as I don't really care for Uzi Vert, I don't want his name to, you understand what I'm saying? So let's So my question to you, viewing public, is let's just say worst case scenario, this happens to be true. Lil Uzi Vert is actually a pretty popular artist. Y'all still supporting this nigga? I already know the answer to that question. That was
Uzi fans. That's rhetorical to them.
That was one of them. That was one of them rhetorical questions. Lil Uzi Vert could run up in your house, run through your mama, your grandmama, your little sister.
Uzi fans are loyal, brother.
And y'all will be like this, videotaping and be like, yo, I'm about to be litty on the gram, son.
Like, who doesn't want to go viral? Who wouldn't want that video on their phone and know instantly they're about to get 1 million views on their page? Come on.
And the funny and you want to know what the funny thing is though? This and I'm sorry, I don't mean to old man the situation, but this is the funny thing. Because what we're saying is accurate. Somebody would videotape that shit with the thought process that they're about to go viral, with the thought process that they love this artist who is doing this, and they do not want to see that person have any harm come their way.
Yeah, it has nothing to do about evidence.
But not at all. Not knowing they're really
Nobody gives two shits about it.
It's evidence.
When the cops come, that's probably why we don't. Maybe there is a video. And they just didn't tell nobody.
You know what, man? You guys, I love you. And every generation is different. It really is. And far be it for me to shit on your generation and how you were brought up. Because you're gonna grow old and you're gonna be like, man, my childhood was the shit. And you should be able to say that.
Absolutely.
All I know is I had my childhood and I'm watching you live yours. And again, I don't want to say it's worse, but I could tell you this. It is very, very fundamentally, on many levels, different than mine.
Yeah, we can definitely leave it on that. We can definitely leave it on that different.
Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. 2 Guys Doing a Podcast.
Hey. Hey, thanks for watching that video, man. One thing we need you to do, I need you to like, I need you to subscribe if you're not subscribed, and please drop a comment and join in on the conversation.
Absolutely. We are trying to get to our goal of 500 and beyond.
Sure.
As you can see, we are almost there. And that video, that little icon there, I need you to click on that, watch the next video, like, rinse, and repeat. Two Guys Doing a Podcast. Those.